My name is James D. Schultz, and I was a torpedoman second class by the time I got out. Really, it was back in about 1965, and I had completed a couple of years of college, but the Vietnam War was going full force and actually increasing at the time. And many of my friends were in the Army, but I wanted to do something where I could, knowing the military was in my future, I wanted to do something where I would learn a skill, something that I could use when I was out of the military and back to civilian life. So really the Navy presented the best educational opportunities that I could use when I got out of the military. So I picked the submarine service because I wanted to do something different. So I volunteered for subservice, and I always wanted to, as long as you're on the planet, you might as well do as much as you can with the time you got. So the subservice was different, lots of education went with it. So I volunteered for a subservice, not knowing whether I was going to qualify or not, but I did. So they shipped me off to training. I think it was about in 1966. It was the first training. There was a lot of training, which was, it was excellent. It was difficult at the time. It wasn't like, it wasn't even like college. It's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week or more of classroom training on whatever you happen to be involved in. So the first training I had was up in Great Lakes, up in Illinois, just north of Chicago. And that was basic electricity and electronics school. I learned some great skills there. And that was about 4 months of training there. And from there, I did have a little bit more time off. They gave me time off. This was a nice thing about the program. I took another year of college while I was waiting to actually go for a ship. So I did one more year of college, and then it was time to go. So they got a hold of me and said, well, your first, I guess what you'd call it, A school was, what are you gonna do when you get into submarine school? Well, the first thing you do is you go to sub school, and they train you all about submarines. And it's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, but you still were doing duty watches at the time. It was New London, Connecticut. And so it was pretty tough, but it was a lot of great training, learning all about submarines. And then from there, you went to your specialty, which in my case was torpedoman. So put you on a plane, and torpedo school happened to be in Key West, Florida at the time. And I said to myself, this isn't all bad. So, so down to Florida we go, and that was I think it was about 4 or 5 months of intense weapons training. And I learned stuff that I had no idea this technology existed for weapons. And finally, after that, it was time to actually go to a submarine. So I go from 95 degrees in Key West, Florida. They put me on a plane and up to New London, Connecticut, and it's December. It's snowing. And you get off the plane and you say, well, I'm not sure this is a good idea. But I went right to the base. And that was the first time I saw the Bang, USS Bang. It was tied to the pier, and away we go.